Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm your host, Jared. This is our week 16 picks episode. For our contest, Dynell and I will make 5 picks against the spread. We are running towards the end of the season. We have 5 picks to make. We have momentum to pick up. We have finished this contest season strong. The theme of this week is the dogs are barking. We've got 4 dogs, 1 favorite, a lot of home dogs. You know we love those spots. But before we get into those 5 picks, let me bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude. I know what's going on, man.
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? Back, glad to have you back. Like I said,
sir.
I missed that other side, bro. I missed that other side, man. But I'm glad we was able to link back up, man. Pick these lines, man. Like I said, bro, we had to get our shovel and fucking dig this week. I mean, this shit was ridiculous trying to figure it out and go through. But we came down to it, man. And the theme of the week is them dogs. Let's get it going.
Yeah, Dynell and I really have been going in depth just because we didn't really get to talk face to face on Wednesday for our preview show. And ultimately that does kind of stink because we get to hear verbally of what, we get to pick each other's brain. So we really took some time off the recording today, and I spent close to an hour and a half, 2 hours just kind of digging into everything. And you guys know that these contest lines for us lock on Wednesday, and there's been so much movement. I do want to give a brief disclosure, guys. This week, please manage your bankroll, tread lightly. All of these last minute injuries, game time decisions, lines are moving left and right. I know you guys want to look for closing line value and bet early, but this is just not the time of the season to do so. We've got a few weeks left. Some teams are playing for everything. Some teams are playing for absolutely nothing. So you really don't know exactly what you get from some of these teams, but we do ultimately have to pick our 5 favorite spots. We really try to do our best to look into the injury report and look into the playoff seeding and what these games mean for each of these teams. And ultimately, we have our 5. Without further ado, Dynell, let's get right into the picks.
Let's go.
All right, here we go.
So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding?
Way down top. Oh, what a shot from Curry.
That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
Leading us off, you guys know him very well. He is a regular guest on this podcast, and that is none other than Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans at home. We've got the line at +2.5 in the contest. It is to 3 and 3.5 in some books. There is a stipulation with this pick. Looks like Geno's going to play. Cool, whatever, don't care. The Titans are preparing for not necessarily Will Levis to suit up, but potentially Ryan Tannehill. If Ryan Tannehill and or Will Levis start this game, we're good. We're not going to make a change. However, if Malik Willis is given the nod, we are going to have to make an audible. So make sure you do your due diligence. Follow us on Twitter at @shredthespread_. And if Sunday at just shy of 1 o'clock, if we get a update of who the quarterback is, we will change that pick. We're not going to ride Malik Willis. I'm not going to have gray hair at 25 years old. But regardless, just background behind the pick. This is just a great spot to fade the Seahawks coming off a big win on prime time against the Eagles on a short week. They're going to Tennessee that just kind of had a heartbreaker. We love Mike Vrabel at home as a dog. He's extremely profitable. We took him as a favorite last week, but this is just a spot where we always take him as a dog. This is just kind of like, the Ryan Tannehill factor is we're kind of looking forward to him starting. If he starts, that's great because you guys know he's been the quarterback of the Titans the last few years, and historically he's covered these numbers. He might not win you this game, but he might, lead to a drive that stalls out and we lose by 1 or 2 points because he just can't get the job done. That's fine. We don't need to win. We just want to cover. Dino, what am I missing?
You didn't miss it. The only thing you missed was Wednesday's podcast when I said exactly the same exact words. I told y'all these Titans were going to be in this podcast, playing a podcast pick. We stick to our guns throughout. Like you said, Mike Vrabel, home dog, very profitable. Other than that, like I said, you hit it on the nail. Everything else.
Yeah, so this team is just, we like to play him as a dog, especially at home. Word on the street is Mike Vrabel might want to go to New England. So he might be, trying to buff up that resume. He's winning against, competitive teams. And, he's doing it with less squad. So I have a feeling Mike Vrabel's kind of coaching for a job at this point, not necessarily win Tennessee, but potentially somewhere else. So we like the Titans at home this week. We've got them plus 2.5. Obviously, anything better than that, we are good to go with that. Dino, why don't you tell the listeners what our second pick of the week is?
Our second pick is going to be the Falcons, basically a pick 'em or a negative or minus half a point up against the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm going to tell you why. At first, in the preview, I know you guys probably heard me say that, the Colts are a lucky team. I will kind of lean towards the Colts here. They, like I said, they've been rolling, they've been hot, and they just steamrolled the Steelers. But I'm after having a talk with Jared. Like I said, man, that's why I had my other side. He was talking about it. And like I said, Michael Pittman I don't really know 100% sure if Michael Pittman's going to play, but if he's out, that is a big, big loss for the Indianapolis Colts. Taylor Heinicke playing quarterback factors very, very well about this decision. He continues to ball out. I feel like he's more of a passing threat than Desmond Ridder. And Desmond, like I said, we always say Desmond Ridder is not real. So Taylor Heinicke's coming back here to play a pretty, really keen quarterback position. He's more of a threat passing the ball than Ridder is. And with that being said, now your running game can come in and be more effective. Now there's more of a threat throwing the ball. This Colts defense is not good, to be 100% frank with you guys. They're not real. They win in shootouts. And like I said, they just somehow, some way find ways to score. Now, coming back to this week, Zach Moss is banged up. Jonathan Taylor's banged up, even though Jonathan Taylor will go, per sources. But I mean, let's be real. Like I said, right now the Falcons are very, very desperate for a win at the moment. I feel like this is a very good time to kind of fade the Indianapolis Colts here in a way. And we got it at half a point. And right now the current line value for this game is at minus 2.5. So the sharps know something, and a lot of money came in on the Falcons for a reason. So we definitely lean the Falcons. Jared, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, just the Falcons coming off a pretty shitty game. We obviously took the Panthers last week and they covered, but the Panthers defense isn't, they're not the best defense, but they're definitely capable. They are a decent NFL defense. And Desmond Ridder just constantly, he would make a big throw and a big play, and then he would turn the ball over. And the biggest thing that I like from this team for the Falcons this week is Taylor Heinicke likes to target the middle of the field. Quick passes to the middle. You saw it in Washington with the tight end, and I feel like he's got more speed. He's got more athletic tight end, Kyle Pitts. I would not be surprised if you see a decent Kyle Pitts game. I think Kyle Pitts gets into the end zone. The Colts defense is just lackluster over the middle. They don't really have any solidified linebackers. So I think as long as Kyle Pitts is, going out there and doing what he does, Taylor Heinicke is going to find him. The other thing is Michael Pittman is questionable to play. If Michael Pittman, so basically we like the Falcons this week. If Michael Pittman is out, we love the Falcons this week. Michael Pittman is their most targeted receiver on third down for the Colts. And without him, I just feel like you're missing a huge piece of that offense. It's almost like missing your starting running back. So I think Michael Pittman, his injury status up in the air is definitely something to look out for. If he is out, this will probably be one of my favorite bets of the week. But obviously, we're going to play the number, we're going to play the value, and we're going to back Taylor Heinicke fighting for a job at home in Atlanta. Moving on to another home dog, we've got the Houston Texans at home at plus 2.5 versus the Browns. I know this is an ugly one, but realistically speaking, veteran quarterbacks stepping in to teams that have had decent success throughout the year. You've seen it with Flacco. You saw it last week with Keenum. They come into these games and they may not look good for 3 quarters, but something about these veteran quarterbacks, they turn it on in the fourth and they cover, they win games. They just do what they're supposed to do. That's why they're still in the league. That's why these teams, obviously Tommy DeVito is a cool story, but that's why most of these teams opt for a veteran guy who's kind of done it before. He doesn't really feel the pressure because he knows, I've been around, I've done this several times. This is nothing new. They are able to get the calls out. They're able to read the line of scrimmage, call out the mic. These quarterbacks have done it for a while. So we have Case Keenum, and we remember at one time he was balling out in Minnesota. He was a covering machine. And now we're getting him with an offense, Nico Collins coming back, which is huge. And the biggest key to this game, the Cleveland Browns defense on the road is night and day from this team at home. When the Browns are at home, they're a top 3 defense. When the Browns are on the road, they're a bottom 5 defense. And you're going against an offense that has some explosive plays. Granted, Tank Dell is not there, but Nico Collins, before Tank Dell even got going, he was the guy everybody had their eyes on. And I think Case Keenum adding a weapon this week. You got D'Amico Ryans, a coach of the year candidate, going out there, and this team still has an opportunity to win this division. This is a big game. I think the Texans get it done at home. I think they win, at worst cover, and that's why we got to take this plus 2.5 in the contest, right?
Yes, sir. No doubt. Like I said, both teams have veteran quarterbacks at the moment. The only difference is like I said, one is kind of righting the ship until the leader gets back, and the other one has basically took sail with the ship. He is now the captain now. And at the moment, I don't really believe in the Cleveland Browns as a whole because of that. Like I said, it's been a great story with Joe Flacco, man. I mean, he came back, he's thrown for 300 plus yards in both his games. But let's be honest and let's be real. He also played the Bears and threw 3 picks at the end of the day too. This is still Joe Flacco at the end of the day. I believe this Texans defense is very prideful at the moment. Like I said, this defense knows that the leader is out, and they've been balling ever since to kind of give them a chance to win games. And Case Keenum is that game manager. Like he said, he's been there before. He's been in the NFC Championship game before. So I feel like this is a great spot for the Texans, especially at home. And like I said, the value for it, man. Like I said, for them, I feel like they will win outright as it is. Another even a money, even a underdog money line round robin play. So no, Texans was the way to go.
Moving on to our 4th pick. This was kind of the ones that I kind of had to talk Dynell into because it is pretty ugly. That's the Arizona Cardinals on the road facing the Bears. Cardinals plus 4.5 in the contest. This is just a kind of like when you see this line, you're like, what are we talking about? Like the Bears have to win by 5. I guess they're at home, but this Bears defense, we've talked them up about stopping the run the last few weeks. Ever since they acquired Montez Sweat from the Commanders, this run defense has been, they've been up there. They haven't went against the craziest competition when it comes to the run. But the one thing this Bears team continuously faces is pocket passing quarterbacks. The only team that they really faced that with a rushing quarterback was Josh Dobbs, and that was the week he kind of started to turn back into a pumpkin, and look at him now. But Kyler Murray is a different breed. He's not Lamar Jackson, but he's Lamar Jackson-esque when he gets outside of the pocket. He's fast. He manipulates the defense. He's deceiving. He is the guy who, he runs out of bounds, actually he's about to get out, and then picks up 2 or 3 more yards just because, the players don't want to push him out of bounds to get an unnecessarily roughness penalty. He's just that type of quarterback. He's just a nuisance. He's hard to get down. The Bears defense is lacking in sacks. They don't really get they get pressure, but they don't get to the quarterback. They force the quarterback out of the pocket, and that is where Kyler Murray kind of thrives. So, we're getting a good number. 4.5 just seems like way too much. The Bears, they just struggle to put teams away, and you saw it last week versus the Browns. They were, at halftime, you looked like the Bears had a death grip on the game, and next thing you know, Joe Flacco, although throwing 3 picks, he just found a way to claw himself back in. And by any means, he is not a mobile quarterback, so they were getting pressure on him. But once that line made an adjustment and started slowing down the pass rush for the Bears, he was able to pick and dink and dunk his way down the field and ultimately won the game. So this number is just way too big for a Bears team that is just not that good. We've got to play the number in this spot. I know both teams are kind of shitty, but they really don't have anything to lose at this point. I think the Cardinals can go out there and handle business. And I would not be surprised if they won this game, Dynell.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And one thing about the Bears is the Bears do not finish. They did not finish. And in the 2 games where you could say, yeah, they went out there and they blew the team out, it was the Commanders, and the Commanders helped to finish that game, and they played the Lions, and to be honest with you, the Lions offense allowed them to just let them do it well. The Lions offense wasn't able to get anything going, especially with Jared Goff out, fish out the fishbowl. We all get that. But like I said, this Cardinals offense has one thing going for them, is that running game can definitely get potent after a while between Kyler Murray and James Conner. James Conner has been somewhat consistent throughout the whole year. I feel like, yes, this Bears rushing defense has been strong, but to have the extra threat of Kyler Murray out there, like I said, trying to catch Kyler Murray is like trying to catch your 2-month-old son with your phone running around. Like, it's really hard to really catch him at all. He's very slippery, and I feel like that really bodes well for the Cardinals here. And like I said, what are we talking about? Let's be real. The Bears laying 4.5, that's unheard of, and I can't trust Justin Fields to go out there and deliver. Even if they do win, I can't expect Justin Fields to deliver and just go out there and just run shot put all throughout the game long. This This Cardinals team is very still prideful, and I feel like they can keep the ball out of the Bears' hands as well, man. As long as they keep that running game up. Yeah, the plus 4.5 to me was a no brainer, especially when come on, we're talking about the Bears here. The Bears cannot finish any games.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that also I put my finger on was the Cardinals are, they're middle of the pack to, top percentile in red zone efficiency and third down conversions. And that's one thing where the Bears kind of struggle. I just feel as if the Cardinals can get us 7 a few times instead of kicking a field goal, we're obviously going to have a chance to not only cover, but, win this game. So with that being said, Dynell, why don't you go ahead and tell the listeners what our final pick of the week is?
And for our final pick, you guys are going to love this one, it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens plus 5.5 against the 49ers, the prime time game of the week. And here's what I'm going to say right off rip, right? And I was doing some digging and some research, and like I said, this bet right here is literally 50-50. I mean, I think the public, the sharps are all kind of torn on where to go and lean out of here. But here's where I kind of lean with where we kind of lean with this. The 49ers, their 49ers offense is predicated off the run, play action, West Coast offense. We've seen it when Kyle Shanahan was in Washington, he was running that offense with Kirk Cousins. Same deal here. Get your running game going, and Christian McCaffrey, run your play action, utilize some screens, fakes, and kind of open up the field with with deep shots off of the play action. Here's my thing though. In those last 10 games, they only faced 4 teams that were top 10 in rushing defense. Right. So you would think, since they stopped the run, they should be able to stop the offense, right? Well, they're 2-2 in those games. And the 2 teams that they won against were 28th in pass defense and 31st in passing defense. And that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. And we all saw what happened that night. So the Ravens have a good complementary between rush defense and passing defense. I think they're 10th. I think they're 10th in rushing defense and 6th in passing defense. And I feel like that really bodes well for them. I feel like they don't give up big plays whatsoever, and the 49ers offense predicates off of big plays, especially off of the run. And I feel like this just screams Ravens, man. I feel like for me personally, 5.5 to me was disrespectful. And I said that on the podcast the other day. I feel like it's very disrespectful. And I know that the Ravens can run the ball very, very well and effectively. And with that being said, when you run the ball and you kill the time of possession and you capitalize on your drives, you'll win ball games, especially when Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense don't turn the ball over. I feel like this is going to be a drawn out game. If anything, I could see this being a 3-point game or anything, but 5.5, I feel like it's kind of steep, and I feel like the public is valuing the 49ers just a little too much at this point, man. So, and like I said, at the line, if we get the Ravens plus 5.5, the value is insane.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting the Niners are just inflated just to public perception. The Niners obviously are cruising on all cylinders, offense, defense, special teams. They just look like the best team. That's why they're one of the front runners for the Super Bowl. But we're not going to discredit the Ravens from what they've done this season. They've battled injuries. They've battled, personnel. They're going out there and they are looking like a dominant team on also both sides of the ball. And we have to remember, we still have Justin Tucker, one of the best kickers, if not the best kicker of all time. And he is a game changer. He's able to go out there and make those difficult kicks. And that's what you need when you're trying to cover a spread. You need to hit those 52-yard field goals. You need to be able to go out there and trust your kicker at the end of the half instead of doing a bullshit Hail Mary. Like, every single point counts in these games. And I feel like this is one of the big tests for the Ravens. They haven't really went out there and faced anybody crazy yet. And I believe this is where they have to go out there and kind of like solidify who they are as a team and show the world that, hey, we can go out there and, even if they don't win, they need to make this game competitive. I've got this game at 3. So I feel like we're getting a point and a half, or about 2.5 points of value. 5.5 is kind of a dead number to me unless this is like a shootout. So I'm really just glad we're getting past the 4.5. That's really what I need for me to be confident on the Ravens. I just feel like because this number is so inflated and because the public is all over the Niners, we're going to just get free 1.5, 2 points of value. And you got to take it, especially in a primetime matchup with 2 teams that are going to be competing for the Super Bowl most likely. The Ravens are I believe they're the favorite now of the AFC over the Chiefs, and that says something. So, this Ravens defense, they have Roquan Smith, and I feel as if he is one of the best matchups possible for Christian McCaffrey. He's got the speed, he's got the IQ, he's the leader of that defense, and he just came over last year from the Bears. So, they paid him. He's going to go out there and pay them. They're going to pay him what he needs to do, and he's going to go out there and he's going to lead that defense, and he's going to you really can't stop Christian McCaffrey, but he's going to do his best to limit him. and hold him under these explosive plays, because as long as Brock Purdy is going to have to make those third and long, tight window throws, I really feel like this Ravens team will be able to get off the field more than people think. And I feel like this will be the week where they earn their respect. So credit to Dynell for kind of pushing this in, because I really just did not want to bet the Niners. But when we really looked at it to a deep, this is just a number you have to play. This is a spot you have to play. And 5.5 in a game that could potentially be a Super Bowl matchup, as crazy as it sounds, we'll be kicking ourselves if we don't take this and the Ravens are up by like 6 or 10 at halftime. I would not be surprised. So that's going to do it. Those are our 5 picks. Just to recap those are the Titans plus 2.5, Falcons pick'em, Texans plus 2.5, Cardinals plus 4.5, and Ravens plus 5.5. We weren't kidding when we said the theme of this week are the dogs. Yeah, dude, running out a few weeks. We have a couple weeks left of the regular season, and I can't believe it is already about to be the playoffs.
Oh, it's crazy, bro. I mean, this has been a hell of a ride, man. The started really up. Took a nice little sharp little edge down, but we're turning right back up again at the right time, man. To think that we're in week 16, and not even just week 16, let alone in December, is about to be Christmas, and we're about to be in 2024 next year. That's wild, man. Time has been flying.
Yeah, it feels like we were just doing the divisional preview episodes. Speaking of which, I want to shout out to everybody who was hating on my Rams features at the beginning of the year. What y'all gotta say to me now, huh? That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, they look like the dumpster fire in that division. Yeah, I don't care. We can't count out Matthew Stafford, who just won a Super Bowl a couple years ago, but that's never here nor there. We will give a futures update in next episode of how we're doing, how we're looking. The Broncos aren't dead. We took the over. One of my favorite was the over on the Broncos wins. I think we need one more, I believe, maybe 2. And it looks like we're going to get one this week against the Patriots, because the Patriots are bullshit. Also, just want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you guys celebrate, was getting to the holidays. Thank you guys again so much for listening. It means the world to us. Just seeing the numbers grow week after week gives us the drive we need to, want to do this every week and put out good content for you guys. Dynell held it down last week while I was out. Unfortunately, I'm playing Santa Claus right now. For what he said, I'm delivering those packages. It's, it's a crazy time of year, but I do just want to get on here and tell you guys, we really appreciate each and every one of you guys who listen and follow us on social media and give feedback and content, whatever it may be. So yeah, just want to make sure you guys know you're appreciated every week you guys listen. But Dynell, do you have anything you want to say to listeners before we get out of here?
Nah, but real quick though, since you got me last week, bold prediction, go.
Bold prediction. Oh, I'm going to say the Dolphins and Cowboys is a snooze fest.
Ooh, that's a good one. So snooze fest in what? Under in points type shit?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a shitty game. I feel like everybody's going to go out there expecting points. I think it's going to be like a 20-13, 20-17 game.
All right, bet. Well, my bold prediction will be Jared Goff makes a statement, wins the division, and obliterates the Minnesota Vikings. Everybody's think that game's going to be close. I got them winning by 17 points.
Wow, that means the Vikings are going to win. Anyway, thanks for listening to the Shred the Spread podcast. This has been our Week 16 Best Bets episode for our season-long contest. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at @ShredTheSpread_. You can also follow us on TikTok at Shred the Spread for the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm your host, Jared. He's my co-host, Dynell, and for our awesome producer, Tyler, holding it down each and every week. This has been another episode. Thanks again for listening. Until our preview show next week, we'll see you.
Peace.